Hello boys and girls, Mr. Arneson here to introduce our next project. Our next project is a tiny little sculpture of a mask. And this mask is known as a Tiki Mask. Now, the people who made this really don't belong to just one country. Okay, and some of these places aren't even really big enough to be a country. But what they are is a series of islands spread out throughout the whole Pacific and South Pacific Ocean. Okay, everywhere from Hawaii in the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean all the way over to Asia, the continent of Asia, in the western part of the Pacific Ocean. All right, so all along that way, there's little tiny islands spread out all over the place. And these people, and I guess the islands themselves are known by three different regions. One is the Polynesians, one is Micronesian, and one is Melanesian. And those three areas comprise that whole swath of the Pacific Ocean. And these people were known for traveling. They would be, in fact, even today, if they've been taught, they can sail their little tiny boats without any modern navigation from one island to another and find them just by knowing how to read the seas and how to spot landmarks on the different little islands that they see. And anyways, there is some people who believe, or I should say hypothesize, which is a big word, that some of these Polynesians, since they made it all the way to Hawaii, because Hawaii is relatively close to the western part of the U.S., there are people who believe that some of these people actually made it all the way to the continental U.S., the modern-day part of U.S., like California, Oregon, and Washington, well before Columbus ever arrived in the New World. I don't know how much proof there is to that, but there are theories that these people actually were able to do that. So we're going to look at these people through this video. I just wanted you to have a little bit of background on their history, that they were travelers, that they traveled all across the oceans, that they sailed, all over the place throughout the Pacific Oceans and established little villages and things on different islands in the Pacific Ocean. And we're going to look at that. I'm going to show you two little examples of the tiki ones that I've done, my little examples. This is kind of what we're going to make right here. All right, and these are made out of toilet paper rolls, and this one is actually made out of a paper towel roll. So if you have a paper towel roll, you're just going to have to cut it down a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to need a toilet paper roll, and we're going to recycle some art. Boys and girls, you may be able to draw directly on your toilet paper roll. That might be something you could do to do your design. It may be easier though, to make things, your life easier, to flatten your toilet paper roll. So I'm just going to take my toilet paper roll and squish it down flat. I don't have to fold it really super hard. You might not want those creases, but it would be easier, I think, to draw it on a flat surface. So if you want to flatten yours, flatten yours. If you want to work it just the way it is, go ahead and work it just the way it is in the round. Boys and girls, I wasn't quite sure if you could see my tiki design from the time lapse, so I wanted to show you the tiki design that I created. My next step then, of course, is going to be to trace it in Sharpie marker, which I'll do right now. Boys and girls, here's my Sharpie Tiki Mask. I'm ready to color, so my next step will be to color it using colored pencils. You could probably use markers as well, but the markers are most likely not going to turn out quite the color you want because they're on a brown paper, but you're free to try.